Hello there, I'm Dr. Duckham and this is Vino MD, and today we're having weekend wine tasting notes, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the marriage of Asian cuisine with wines. Asian cuisine presents a particularly difficult problem in terms of the marriage or the pairing of wines with the cuisine itself, and that's because it has a lot of exotic flavors. It's got the lychee nuts sometimes, it's got mandarin oranges. I'm having a little bit of Chinese chicken salad today, and it also has some fish oil, so very unusual exotic flavors that are difficult to match with wines. So some of the wines that we've worked with in my professional wine society over the years have resulted in trying to pick one that really marries those exotic flavors. And the one that we all like, and I like a lot, is a Gewürztraminer. A Gewürztraminer is a really unusual wine. It's from Germany, but it also is in Alsace-Lorraine area, France, and on the border of northern Italy as well. It's basically like a Rhine wine, but with the exotic flavors where it picks up fresh peas as well as other flavors. Other flavors being lychee nuts and a little bit of spice and very exotic flavors. I like this one, which is from Thomas Fogarty. Thomas Fogarty is located in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and with their Gewürztraminer, they handle it a little bit different than other areas in the world. What they do is they take the grapes and they ferment them for long periods of time, i.e. they put it into a large refrigerated fermentation tank, and instead of fermenting it in say 2-3 days, a week or so, they will ferment it up to months at a very low temperature, so the fermentation is really slow. They also let all the grape skins come down to the bottom, and that produces the lees. And the lees are also have some yeast in them. The yeast breaks down, the lees break down, and it becomes a very voluptuous, thicker wine. So with a higher viscosity, then it goes over your palates. It gives you a flavor of sweetness in the wine when there really is no sweetness. It's finished very dry. So I like that marriage, and that goes really well with the exotic flavors of the Chinese chicken salad. We've also learned that there's another way to marry wines, and that's to go a little bit against the grain, where you want to take some of those sweet exotic flavors and you want to cut them with acid. So my favorite one there, to have an alternative way to marry a wine with this type of a salad, would be Fort Ross. Fort Ross is in the Fort Ross Seaview growing area, just a couple miles from the Sonoma coast and ocean, and it produces a very acidic wine. So with that acidic wine, that ends up cutting those sweet flavors, gets through the rice vinegar that might be in there, cuts through the mandarin oranges, and really works well. And then, if you're stuck in a restaurant or something and you're going, there's no Gewürztraminer, there's no really nice Chardonnays with a lot of acid or any wines with a lot of acid, what do you go with? Well, that's when I go with something like a champagne. Why a champagne with exotic Asian foods? It's because it works really well. This happens to be Modicum champagne made by Schramsberg. Modicum is the house name for French Laundry for their wines. But during the pandemic, as we were all suffering, so was the restaurant of French Laundry. And so what they did was they said, well, we don't really need our order of Modicum, so all the Modicum for that year went to the wine club, and so I was able to pick up a lot, and I did pick up a lot. This is a 2016, Modicum, and it's made to the specifications of Thomas Keller. So it's a really, really dry champagne. Any champagne that has a lot of acid in it will work. Prosecco's probably not so well, but a good champagne has neutral flavors, so it doesn't interfere with the exotic flavors of the salad, but a lot of acid, and that works really well. So in other words, there's a lot of different ways to marry these rather unusual exotic spices and flavors that we'll get in the Chinese or Asian cuisine. Thank you very much. Toast, Dr. Duckham.